When you allocate capital to operations, manufacturing, or sales, you demand rigorous governance. You expect a defined return on investment. But when you approve a marketing budget, you are often asked to accept subjective targets, like brand equity, awareness, and engagement, in place of hard financial returns. This disconnect explains why executives remain highly skeptical of marketing expenditures. You see capital leaving the business, but you are presented with success metrics that have no direct, repeatable, or credible connection to actual revenue growth. We can see the real-world consequences of this accountability failure by looking at the tenure of the people leading these departments. Marketing executives consistently experience shorter, structurally unstable tenures compared to the rest of the C-suite. This graphic shows the corporate structure of Fortune 500 companies in 2024. Over a third of these organizations, 34%, operate without an enterprise-wide chief marketing leader entirely. A third of the world's top companies operating without a unified marketing leader is a symptom of a severe measurement failure. To fix this and turn marketing into a true growth engine, you need to enforce 3 specific measurement mandates. Your first step begins at the next budget review. Mandate number 1 requires you to disqualify surface-level digital engagement metrics from all budget discussions. Specifically, you must reject reports that use impressions, clicks, reach, and follower growth as evidence of commercial success. These data points are not irrelevant, but they are merely diagnostic indicators. They prove an activity occurred. They do not prove commercial value was created for the business. Consider a typical digital campaign. It might generate an exceptionally high click-through rate or deliver leads at a very low cost. But if the call center cannot reach those people or they fail a credit check, those cheap leads result in 0 revenue. You must replace those discarded indicators with actual financial metrics, confirmed revenue, profit margins, and true customer acquisition costs. Optimizing for clicks and impressions distracts a team by making it easy to report success, while the company's actual sales decline. The second mandate forces your team to bridge the gap between those initial clicks and your final deposits. You must require reporting that tracks a lead directly to a commercial result, completely independent of platform-reported success. This chart from Nielsen's 2024 marketing report illustrates the current illusion of measurement. The circle on the far left shows 84% of global marketers report high confidence in their ROI measurement. Yet the middle data point reveals that only 38% actually measure their traditional and digital marketing together to evaluate holistic ROI. Looking at the right side of this same report, 70% of marketers plan to prioritize performance marketing. They deploy tactics designed to drive immediate action, but lack the full funnel measurement required to see if those actions yield a profit. This happens because the tracking often stops entirely at the media platform. If an advertising network like Google or Meta claims a campaign was successful based on their internal tracking, that claim is contained within their own ecosystem, isolated from your real-world sales. You must demand absolute proof that a digital lead became a signed contract or completed checkout. More importantly, you must see if that specific sale generated a profitable margin. Performance marketing generates the necessary demand, but only holistic end-to-end ROI tracking reveals the commercial truth of what that demand is worth. This brings us to the third mandate. You must integrate offline sales and operational data to expose exactly where potential revenue is leaking out of the system. Digital advertising excels at creating top-of-funnel intent. However, the actual commercial transaction almost always happens offline. A customer buys in a physical branch, a lead is closed by a call center, or revenue is confirmed inside a CRM. This chart from the CMO Council highlights a severe operational blind spot. It shows 97% of marketers consider their organizations ineffective at turning customer data into concrete insights. Furthermore, 36% explicitly admit they lack the underlying data required to even understand their consumers' needs. The technological systems are simply disconnected. To solve this, your chief marketing officer must build a touchpoint map. This is an architectural solution designed to unify those fragmented systems into a single view. This diagram visualizes that bridge. It tracks the customer journey, tracing the initial digital lead generation on the left all the way through operational steps to the offline post-sale on the right. With this map, you can diagnose failures. If a high-quality lead comes in, but the call center agent dials too late, or the store lacks inventory, you see exactly where the journey broke. By integrating this offline operational data, you finally gain the ability to distinguish between poor demand generation on the marketing side and poor demand conversion on the sales side. When you enforce these three mandates, the conversations in your boardroom change. Defensive budget negotiations and vague justifications are replaced by confident, mathematically sound investment strategies. This measurement architecture forces accountability across your entire revenue system. Sales cannot blame marketing for weak leads, and marketing cannot hide behind partial data to claim a campaign was successful. Artificial intelligence will certainly help process this information faster, but AI does not fix broken measurement. It simply scales your existing architecture. You must establish data-informed order first, so your AI tools optimize for profit rather than chasing cheap leads. Moving forward, precise, scientific measurement is the only acceptable standard. You can no longer afford to fund chaotic, unstructured marketing activity based on agency instinct. The new standard treats every budget dollar as a calculated capital allocation and treats every campaign as an opportunity for continuous system optimization. By requiring true financial accountability and integrating your offline data, you put an end to the age of marketing opinion. You enter the era of revenue science.